So we were discussing about the place of supply, and some of the participants, in fact, I want to name Mr. Tarun. So Tarun came and asked me, sir, how is it possible that the cash will go away from economy? Sir, I can't understand. In Gujarat, many people are doing only cash business even after demonetization. Yeah, even after demonetization, cash business will be there. I'm not saying no, cash business will not be there. Let it be in cash or bank, doesn't matter. You pay taxes. That's the first thing as a citizen of the country. And when I say you means, I mean the people who are in the cash business. Now, you look at what has happened in the country. Now, when we are planning for the GST, the demonetization happened. The demonetization success story is where the 15 lakh crore money which was existing as a cash component, 86% was 500,000. Out of 17 lakh crore currency which was in circulation, the 15 lakh crore came into the banking channel, and people now know first thing how to use the bank. First, many people who did not even enter to bank any point of time entered bank because they had 500,000 and they were able to come under the banking channel. Second, now when the cash was demonetized and people started using the digitization, you can go and check the records of the government where the people now using the digital platform has increased. Second, I already told yesterday, the government is planning over a period of time to incentivize the payment through cash payment, the bank, through your online payment and through card payment and everything they are planning to incentivize. Your point is valid to an extent. When the GST is going to onset now, the people in the cash business will restrain themselves to get registered still. But don't forget the fact, when the GST is going to come, most of the officials of the GST or the work of the officials of the GST is going to be taken care of by the system. Return filing to everything. And what is the role of the existing officer? The role of the existing officer will move away from the desk job to the investigation job. The investigation will become more stringent. The ways and methods of investigation will become more stringent. The people who give information about the people who are not paying taxes will be incentivized to more. And when this all is going to happen, there's going to be an ecosystem where people will be afraid to do business in cash. Now they are not afraid because that has become the norm of the country. Later, the cash will become a bad name. When somebody says you have so much of cash in your pocket, they will not associate with him. That kind of a situation will come. Now somebody says I have so much of cash, you feel rich. Later point of time, the culture of India will change to an extent where somebody says he has so much of cash and so much of gold, that indicates that he is not a right person. Maybe that could be the situation in the future. And real estate, of course. Three things will be seen as differently in future period. Somebody has real estate, somebody has more land and things like that, and somebody has more gold, somebody has cash. These three things go unanimously, you know, right? You go and see any rich person who have become rich in Ahmedabad in the past 10 years, very quickly, he would have been a real estate person. That real estate person will have a lot of gold in his hand. Not, it's a culture here also. It's a culture in Tamil Nadu also. How to find he's a real estate businessman? You should have 10 kgs of gold as a bracelet. He will walk like this. And the chain will be big. So that is a real estate business. Over a period of time, this has become, this is a business model people have adopted to become quickly rich because cash component was there. When you have to become rich, you need to work hard, put your ideas, engage people, contribute to society. This is the ecosystem that India should build for the business. What is the ecosystem presently there? You don't want to do anything. You want to go around the country through car, in the state, and then buy property from one hand and pass it on to another person, take the commission and become rich. This is not entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship? The entrepreneurship is, there are people who are really entrepreneurs, but still they are in cash component. I am not denying that fact. Majority of the people have been in real estate and gold, and the cash component went to there only. Accordingly, in future, I can mark my word, cash will become a bad name. In somebody's ask 1 lakh rupees in pocket, you will see, you will not associate with him, you will not travel with him, because tomorrow somebody will investigate that 1 lakh is in pocket, he has to answer yes or no. That culture will come now. The culture of having a cash will become bad in the country. And when that is a situation, when the trade is not happening through cash, when the trade is going to happen in bank, automatically people in the cash business is going to come into the tax net of GST. Yes, it's a vision, but it is going to be the reality. That is a single reason the GST and net worth there where everything is automated, return filing process is automated, auto population to reconciliation is self-reconciliation. You saw that, right? And yesterday ma'am was asking about the 10,000 suppliers is there in their company, how to manage. Why do you manage? There's nothing to manage. You upload the vendor detail. Reconciliation will happen automatically. I am not saying the system will not be with any problem. The theft testing is still going in the government itself. Initial hiccups will always be there. Windows 95 you used, Windows 98 you used, then 2000 you used, then later version by version you are getting. Same is the version the government also will release. And more, based on the innovation, they will also be upgrading the system. So system is not final. System is only a first step. It will get upgraded. So things will change. Things will change to a greater extent. And why, if at all, if you think why India should move to a formal economy, please remember India's population 22% who are living the poverty line. Why do we live as a nation? That we live as a nation to uplift them. We live as a nation to ensure that equitably the equity, the equality and equity is achieved through a fair distribution of income. In case of the real estate transaction, when the people were in the business of real estate, people who are residing in the same location itself will not be able to buy another property. Why? People started gambling around the real estate. Because of what? The source is cash. Because you never purchase the real estate for 100% value of bank. You always bought the real estate 50% in cash, not 50%. The stamp duty value will be in the bank, balance portion will be in cash. That cash was rotating, it all went for. You are only looking at this real estate. The bigger picture is the cash is also destructing the economy. You know why? It is funded for illicit activity. Coming under the tax net is also social, national security compliance. When everybody comes under the tax net, when every business happens in bank, there is no opportunity to generate cash. When opportunity for the generation cash is not there, automatically national security is also restored. That's what the Prime Minister told on November 8th. This is a larger picture. People who are not able to understand the country's requirement were the people who are gripping about it. And I would say the people of India at that point of time came unanimously. Yes, we all stood in the bank. It's not a new thing standing in a queue in our country. We stand in the ration card, ration card to the school, everywhere we stand in the line. But why this alone was projected as a major issue? Because people who had money lost, they were not able to express publicly. They also welcomed this. But they have to show hands on to whom? The people have been put in front of them to show, look, people are suffering, and then actually who are suffering? They were suffering. The people who have been saying people are suffering. People did not suffer. People gave a unanimous consent for that. Here is a man who bought that. Who will take this bold step, putting the political risk and as well as the administrative risk of doing this? Why did he bring? Not for him. He does not have any personal gain. He brought this to ensure the black money gets eradicated. Whether it is success or failure, I call it as a success because because of demonetization, today we have 90 lakh assassins who have come into the tax net. Bringing 90 lakh assassins is not easy in the country. Second, now every 500,000 has an address. Yes, earlier that 500,000 did not have the address. And second, some people got trained in the bank. Why? The rich people use those people to go and stand in the line to deposit 4,000. I would call it as, in a way, a training for the poor people to actually equip themselves in the banking channel. And these are the things India actually has to change, otherwise it's very difficult. That's the reason everybody should welcome GST, because this GST is going to transform in such a way that everything is systematic. And Tarun was making a very valid point. I'm not saying that the cash will go away immediately. On 1st July, every Indian will only do business in bank. I can never say that. But at least in the medium term, at least in the long term. But I can assure you, next 60th year, some point of time, cash will be destructed. Yes or no? That assurity I can provide. Next 60 years, definitely within 60 years, next 60 years, at some point of time, cash economy will get distracted completely. But can you give an assurance if GST is not coming? If this demonetization kind of measures are not taken, can you give an assurance that we will move toward digitization at some point of time? You cannot. Internet will be there, but money still be there as a cash. So have a vision to understand this is a larger picture. And I think, see, any system that comes into country will not be without fallacy, without a problem, without a confusion. And that to a place like India, which is a federal country with largest democracy, with diversity, with different political views, this is bound to be problem. And here is an opportunity for the professional educated to understand which is right and which is not right. Here is an opportunity for the educated to go and evangelize about what is right. This GST, many people think it's like an alternative tax. There were some taxes, and GST is coming and it's just one more tax development. No, it is not a tax development, it's a system orientation of the country. That's what I'm trying to say. These are all interpretations which I show you, the place of supply, that bill to ship, the onboard on conveyance, all these are concepts of the GST. They're enabling the system in place. Law is there, section number, that's a different issue, but the concept has to be understood. So with this precursor, let's go and see some more complications in the place of supply. Now let's assume, in this example, let me again start back from the services, place of supply of services. So it is definitely the cash business getting distracted is disheartening to note, because that's been a culture, right? How can I change a culture immediately? It requires a self-realization, and the country's objective should come above the self-objective. Japan, today we all use the Japanese product. Look at the feel of the nation there. They suffered tsunamis, they suffered bomb blast, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. There is a small country, but still they are the leaders in the manufacturing. How is it possible? Self-interest is below the national interest, or rather, national interest is above the self-interest. I heard a story from a Japanese who was very close to me. I just asked him, how do they run their families? One small example he told me was, for example, if they have a small dish at home, and the food has to be consumed by 5 people, the rule of the Japanese culture is to cut equally and eat equally. The mother will not give you extra, the father will not give you extra. The culture of the Japanese is cut equally. It starts with home and it goes to nation. You have larger portion, and don't think that it's all in the only talks. Go and see Japan, speak to a Japanese guy, you'll understand things are different. He will never ditch about his country. Here, if we get an opportunity in foreign country, somebody pays us, we go and talk badly about our country. No, things have to change. I'm not saying we need to be appeasing someone. I'm not saying we need to talk what is not there in our country. I'm saying only we need to feel proud of our country. We are cribbing why? Countries like this. We should only find the solution actually. So I think these are the opportunity presently there. The reforms are the opportunity where we need to take, and then we should transform the nation to a greater level. By understanding it, that's very important. That's a key reason this kind of outreach programs actually supports. All right. The place of supply, the services, the first discussion on the place of supply. Supply of services to a registered person. Now, I am in a particular state. Registered person is in another state. Yes or no? Registered person can be in the same state or another state. What is the concept of the GST? The concept of the GST is supply. The two important conditions of the GST is your location of supplier and the place of supply. The supply includes your services also. Supply includes your transfer also. Supply includes your sale also. And barter also. And for a consideration or in the course of furtherance of business. In the course of furtherance of business, when I mean, it means free of cost. FOC also attracts the GST. Now, the place of supply will be the place of registered person. First, Karnataka, I have 2 locations, Bangalore and Mangalore. The Bangalore person, registered person, provides services to Mangalore person. Now, where is the location of the supplier? Supplier of service, Bangalore. Where is the place of supply? Bangalore. And accordingly, what will get attracted? CGST and SGST. What will appear in the invoice? CGST and SGST. If 18% is applicable, then 18% will be segregated into 2 buckets. One is the CGST, another is the SGST. 9% will go to CGST, 9% will go to the SGST. Then, so the place of supply is in Karnataka. Intrastate supply, and accordingly it is CGST and SGST. Now let's add Kerala. In Kerala, there is a location. Let's assume the registered person is in Kerala. And the service, this is interstate. Instead of Bangalore person providing the service to Mangalore, yeah, definitely when a Bangalore person provides to Mangalore person, it will be registered person under the GST. Now if the Bangalore person provides services to Kerala, the registered person is in Kerala. Now the place of supply is in Kerala. Accordingly, what will apply? The interstate supply, and what will apply is the IGST. What will apply is the IGST. This is what? Integrated GST. And rate, let's assume 18% applies. To whom does it go? Central government, and apportioned to the state government. All right. Supply of services. Now comes a question. Supply of services to an unregistered person. Address exists on record, place of recipient, other cases, place of supplier. Simple. Ab retail store run karna. For example, you are running a retail store. Now, what is the biggest retail store in Ahmedabad? Manyavar? Then what else is? Manyavar is from Ahmedabad? The promoter? Okay, now is there any other retail shop where lakhs of people go and purchase for Diwali? D-Mart. Okay, I know many people have favoritism to different people. Okay, one shop you tell me. D-Mart. Okay. Okay, listen. Listen. Okay, now Diwali comes. What could be the expected sale in that particular shop, what you are referring to, D-Mart? What could be the expected invoice per day? 6 lakhs? Do then 6 lakh people go, okay, why to use all your example? Come to our state. Okay, I have seen it live. Okay, in our state, there is a place called T Nagar in Chennai. Diwali, Pongal is the biggest celebration in Tamil Nadu, and Diwali is everywhere, but Pongal is the biggest celebration. Now, the primarily people who come to T Nagar are people who come from the suburban and rural areas. They come, and per day, in some of the shops I know, per day, the total customers would have visited is even 6 lakhs during it used to be crowded to an extent, you have to wait for a few hours to select the design, but still people will come there. Now, it's something unusual, but you need to see that to believe. You can't even enter railway station to that shop itself, you have to wait and go. There's a place called T Nagar in Chennai. Now, this invoicing, I go and buy, my brother goes and buy, my parents go and buy, you go and buy, who come to Chennai. Now, every invoice they raise, it's not an unregistered person, it's not a registered person. This is B2C. That's what the GST says, it is B2C. In case of the B2C, address exists on record. In case you are a regular customer, place of recipient. If the address exists on record, if address is there, the place of recipient. If address is not there, what is the location of the supplier is equal to the place of supply. Got the point? And all this D-Mart or whatever the shops, garment shops you run, where the customers come directly, they don't disclose anything, and then they pay the money and get the products and then move off, then that is your place of location of supply will be the place of supply. You got the point? So in the bill, what will appear? CGST and SGST. You come from Ahmedabad to Chennai, and I take you to a shop, and you go and buy jewelry in shop in Chennai. When you buy a jewelry, do you need to provide place of address? Is it so? Okay, let's not take the jewelry example. Let me take the garment shop itself. So in Chennai, you come and buy, take you to a garment shop, you go and buy a garment and pay money to them. Do you say you are so and so? You don't even say your name. Do you say my name is so and so? I come from Ahmedabad. Can I see some dresses? My address is so and so. I have 3 houses. Which address house you want? Okay. The one house is in Ahmedabad, another house is in Delhi, another house is in Uttar Pradesh. Will you say all those things? No. You just go there. You just see the designs and then take the product and back, and you pay. In that situation, the location of supplier is equal to the place of supply. You got the point? All right. This is a B2C transaction. Yesterday somebody asked me about the B2C transactions. Sir, here the cash generation is possible? No. Your question is that, yes or no? Tarun is thinking. No. He is worried that cash business is actually, getting distracted in India, but it is for the good thing only. Now, so the cash portion, yes, but invoicing who is doing? Invoicing who is doing? What what the government wants. In case of the B2C, government wants what? Invoice, that's all. Invoice of the customer. Without invoice, you cannot sell. Why? When you have such a kind of a stature of shop, you cannot run two parallel business. A customer, you will call him, ask, sir, do you want invoice? 100 rupees t-shirt you will buy. You will ask him, sir, you want invoice or you don't want invoice? Without invoice means no tag, give money. Like that will the shop ask. It is better in case of this kind of a volume of transactions to go. I am asking a simple question. Let me ask the simple question to Tarun. Tarun has become a victim today. He asked this question, the cash aspect. If you start a business, you start business for what? For just running your livelihood or employing people or growing. If your aspiration is to grow, please come under the tax net. If you want to remain in one street in the nook and the corner of the home, do the business from a small room until your lifetime, please do it. But the aspiration for the entire business is to grow. When the aspiration for the entire business to grow, then it is responsibility to get registered. Only when you get registered you can grow, otherwise it's not possible. You will always be under fear because most of the offices will become free post GST implementation, and they will be deployed for what? Search and seizure. Now let's assume I come for another session and later after 3 or 4 years GST is there. Tarun is saying, sir, still I do cash business. I'll take a phone call and say, see, this man is doing a cash business. Why can't you please look at it? Yes or no, possible or not possible? There's nothing called privacy nowadays. Google knows where you are. Your parents may not know, but your Google knows where you are. Google also knows where you are going. Google also knows what you will do after 5 years based on the average things what you have done, where you have traveled to. It can simulate your life. That's where we are leading to. So when these developments are happening, I think we need to be aware that we need to come under the tax net. Alright, you got the point? Now the B2B you got the point, B2C you got the point. Let's move on to the next example. Supply of services in relation to immovable property. Yeah, property cannot be moved. Property cannot be moved. Can you move on real estate property? Who can move? Only people can move. Yes or no? Now, supply of services in relation to an immovable property. I can do a construction on a land and I come and do some services in that land. Let's assume immovable property. What is that implication? The place of supply will be the location at which the immovable property is located. Simple. Place of supply will be with respect to whatever you do with respect to immovable property, the place of supply will be where? Yes, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. Deluxe Hotel. Mr. Sam. So Mr. Sam goes to Deluxe Hotel. Stays there. Place of supply, where? I repeat, Sam is in Tamil Nadu. Hotel will not come to Tamil Nadu. Sam wants to stay in Fortune, ITC, Windsor. He wants. Can he order that and bring it here? Only Sam has to go there. Here, looking at that aspect, in case of the immovable property, you go and stay in the immovable property, then the place of supply is where? The place of provision. You got the point? Next, transportation of goods, including mail or courier. So now, when you are actually transporting the goods, like e-commerce, for example, you send a parcel, somebody orders a books through online, and you send through that in the mail or a courier. Now, in this case, where is the provision of services? If it is a registered person, the location of the recipient. Others, location at which the goods are handed for transportation. Now, I send the goods to another person. I am not selling. I am sending. Sending can be for barter. Sending can be a transfer. Sending can be a sale. Here in case of the supplier. Who is the supplier in this case? We are providing services. Who is the service provider? Logistics. Yes or no? Logistics service provider. So what is this place of supply of services? That's doubtful. See, you are sending a product. Courier or logistics will be used for sending the product. Now, for the service provider, you need to determine the place of supply to tax him. if in case the courier is sent to a registered person, then the location of the recipient, that will be the place of supply. If in case it is sent to an unregistered person, for example, you order whatever you want in Flipkart, you order cash on delivery only most of the time, yes or no, and you lock your room also. For example, in Flipkart, when Flipkart came in, I know some people used to book just like that. I know some of my friends, I asked him, why are you booking just like that for fun? He will select a product, he will book it, because in cash on delivery, until you pay cash, it will be returned, yes or no. The joy, the sadism. Look at it, no? Now, people book from anywhere. Why am I saying this? I'm not telling you the story of the sadism. I'm telling the story of people book from anywhere, nook and corner. How did you decide with respect to the provision of the courier services or the mail services for him where the tax gets attracted? Is the place, the supply is the concept based on that location of supply and place of supply. In this case, where is the place of supply? The place of supply will be if it is a registered person, the location of the recipient, registered person. If he is not a registered, other than the registered person means the location at which the goods are handed over for transportation is the place where the service will be taxed. You got the point? See, you cannot don't worry at all. I see the feel of worriness. You are not writing CA exam. People who are writing CA exam, cool down. Okay, don't worry. People who are correcting also should know the subject. Okay, don't worry about it. Who is setting the paper also should know the subject. So it is the responsibility of the ecosystem to ensure that you get empowered. Don't worry. It comes out of experience and it's a way of life. You are practicing a new way of life. Right? Now, Karnataka. Quick transports. Okay, is in Karnataka. And quick transports, Mr. Sam is in Tamil Nadu. And registered in TN. Who is registered? Sam is registered in TN. Registered person. Now when the product comes from quick transports to Sam, where it will be taxed for quick transport? Tamil Nadu. Got it? Alright. Registered person. He is an unregistered person. Place of supply is the place of handed over for transportation. Where is the place? Karnataka. Got the point? Alright. Mixed supply. I spoke about independent transaction. In case of a contract, sometimes I'll tell you how the mixed contract arises. First, I'll tell you what is a mixed contract. We have this mixed fruit juice, no? You don't know what fruits are there, but still it's called mixed fruit juice. Sometimes we don't know fruits are also there. So what they will call mixed fruit juice. Mixed fruit means you have to tell me what fruits are there. Similar is the case of the mixed supply of services. Two or more individual supplies of goods or services or a combination supplied by a taxable person for a single price. Is called the mixed supply. Mixed supply can be it applied to the goods, it can apply to the services. Yes or no? Now with respect to two or more individual supplies of goods or services or a combination of goods or services supplied by a taxable person for a single price is called the mixed supply. Corporate kit. Possible? Possible? A person in a company can give you a SIM card as well as get you a mobile phone. Yes or no? Yes? It's a corporate kit. Watch, valet, tie, and then what is that? Pen, no? Okay, alright. Single price. Okay, let me this is a mixed supply, mixed product. You typically get this, right? Typically get this in the shop to give someone. You buy it at a discount price. Yes or no? I'm just kidding. This is a corporate kit which people actually put together in a basket and sell you. It's like a basket of fruits. Each fruit is not rated. Basket is rated. Similar is the case of a corporate gift. Now in case of the corporate gift, in this case of a situation, when it's a single price, what will happen? Highest of the prices. So in the kit, for example, you keep a cross pin, you keep a watch, you keep one more Mont Blanc pen. Okay? One more. What is the rate that will be applicable? What is the rate that will be applicable? The price of is a corporate kit. Price of the corporate. So pen will be one category. Another category will be another product will be another category. Accordingly, this what will happen is the highest of the rates of a particular product which is there inside the basket, inside the kit will get attracted. This situation tax? I'm asking a simple question. If India would have adopted a single rate of tax, whether this situation will arise, this concept discussion itself is not needed. You go to Malaysia, you go to Singapore, and you buy a product, and that entire product, whatever you buy, whether you buy a baby powder or a BMW or a corporate gift, anything for that matter, everything is taxed at 4% or 6% as the case may be. So it's a flat rate of single tax there. But India, it's the one nation, one market, one nature of tax under the CGST, SGST, IGST, UTGST. Under that you have the rates of taxes which are 5 multiple rates. You have 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%, and accordingly the composite, that is your mixed supply matters. Mixed supply of services, mixed supply of goods. In both cases, highest of the rates will apply. Hope you got the point. When I was explaining about this concept 3 months before, people were asking me, sir, how is it possible for services? Anyway, it is only flat rate of 16.5% now. The government is thinking about bringing 18%. I made a very, very candid point. I told services will not come under one bucket, one flat rate. I even told, it is on the record, even told for cab aggregators, they will provide a discounted rate. Logic is very simple, not logic, commonality. Today, who is using a car? If you have to use a car, you have to engage a driver. If you have to drive, you cannot speak on phone. People can be without car, but people cannot be without phone. Yes or no? For 2 hours, traffic got stuck. They'll keep looking at the phone. So we're looking at the psychology. People now use only the aggregators. Yes or no? And it's the best thing that has happened to India. Why? Otherwise, more people would have bought cars, and they will tend to use it and traffic jam. Now you have an opportunity of pooling of cars. Yes or no? In fact, I told in the meeting that pooling of car, if the same cab aggregator provides a pooling of car, the government should think of providing 0% tax for them. Within the aggregator, you have Uber Go, Uber Pool. In case of the Uber Pool, I think the tax should be completely zero. Why? It will encourage people to use Uber Pool. Yes, because of that, traffic will get reduced to an extent where only people will use the car when there is a necessity. Otherwise, they'll keep using the car. So these are the ways in which you can transform the consumption pattern of the country itself. I hope you got the point. When the tax rate for the pool cab that is car aggregator is zero for a Uber pool, like example, if it becomes zero, will you be happy to use? You'll rethink twice whether should I go for Uber Go or Uber Pool. If it is morning to office, you will go by Uber Go. Evening to home, it's okay, you can reach later. Yes or no? 1 hour of time also will take. You sit haram-se in the car. So looking at this, anyway, the aggregators, cab aggregators are now coming under 5%. So the regressive tax mechanism which was existing for the service tax is also gone. Where they have rationalized the rate by fixing it for the 5% for the majority of the services, and they have rationalized to that extent. All right. 12%, 5%. The supply of corporate will be taxed at 18%. That's the watch rate. You got the point? All right. Composite supply. What is the difference between the composite supply and the mixed supply? Mixed supply is various goods put together in one basket and given to you. In case of this composite supply made by a taxable person to a recipient comprising of 2 or more supplies of goods or services, or any combination which are naturally bundled and supplied in the ordinary course of business. Can you tell me one example for this? Think and tell me, no? Where supply and services and goods are provided together. AC, then restaurant, AC. So you buy a AC, you go to what is a famous retailer in Gujarat, Ahmedabad? Tata Chromo. Tata Chromo sells AC, no? They sell AC? Okay, I'm not promoting any brand, but what I'm saying is, okay, now when you buy an AC, you also pay money to the money for the services, yes or no? You also avail the services where they come and install. Yes, typically that's a composite supply. Now let's take an example. One of which is a principal supply, which constitutes the predominant element of a composite supply. That will apply. Computer, installation, treat it as a supply of principal supply. What is the principal supply here? Is it for installing you are buying computer, or for buying computer you are installing? That means which is predominant which is the principal supply? So computer, right? That means what will have to apply in this case? The principal supply. The principal supply is that supply. That is the buying of computer. Now time of supply of goods, forward charge and supply of goods. Earliest of the following: date of invoice or date of receipt of payment. Any two event happens. Yes, now you know the supply is the concept. Under the supply you have place of supply and location of the supplier. Both are in the same state. Then is it within the state? If the supply is a location of the supplier and place of supply is another state, it is called interstate. That attracts IGST. Now, when should I forward charge? When should I forward charge the tax? There should be activity which will involve the charge of the tax. Yes or no? That activity is the date of invoice, or which date? The date of the time, basically the time of supply. Yes, it is supplied. Yes, it is supplied to the place of supply. But what time is it supplied? That should be the time of the date of invoice or the date of recipient payment. Recipient payment. Payment happens first. Invoice later. Then what will get attracted? Payment. Date of invoice happens. Later payment. Date of invoice. Is it not fair? It's fair. If somebody is able to pay, what is the reason that you are not raised the invoice? Invoice raising and then should go tandem. Yes or no? Hereafter will not have. If you receive an advance, even on the advance you have to pay GST. And logically, or by looking at the features of the GST network, the date of invoice and date of payment may be happening within a day. The credit systems also will change in the country quickly. Alright? It might also reform the credit system. Then, earliest of the following: supply of the goods, date of receipt of the goods, or date of payment, or 30 days from the date of issue of invoice by the supplier. Now, this is a very important thing. Date of receipt of goods. Location of supply is in Karnataka. Place of supply is in Tamil Nadu. I ordered and I got the goods in Tamil Nadu. That date on which I got the receipt of the goods is the date of the supply, time of supply. 2, the date of payment. Okay, I did not receive the good, but I made a payment. That is the time of supply. Okay, so I did not receive the good and I did not pay, but I received the invoice from the that is from vendor. Now, the time of supply is 30 days from the date of issue of invoice by the supplier. I hope you got the point. Alright, we will see that. So, unable to determine the above 3, date of entry in the books of accounts. Simple. Now, when you enter the date of books of entry in the book, your master is connected already. Vendor master. Yeah, what is this? This is a supplier. You supplying good. That means your customer master is there. You already entered that entry. That entry, on an entry also, you have to pay a tax. That means if you just pass an entry, let's assume somebody pass a bogus entry. For what? Inflating the revenue in the month of March. On that bogus transaction, you have to pay GST. When you pay GST, what you have to obtain? What register? You have to give the GST and yes or no? Typically, somebody will give the GSTN for booking bogus entry. It will be reflected in his records. Yes or no? Yes or no? So accordingly, the bogus transactions will be eradicated because of this system in place. I hope you got the point. Don't worry, we will anyway look at it again and again. So it's just the first time that you are attending that no, you feel like so much data we are providing. Okay, next. Forward charge and supply of goods. Earliest of the supply of goods we saw. Supply of services we will see. Date of invoice. 2. Date of recipient of payment. And any of this. In case of the services, it is easy. It is either the date of invoice or the date of recipient payment. It is not the date of providing services. You got the point? It is the date of invoice or days of receipt of payment. In the case of time of supply of services. Timing is important. It is taxable. If you supply, it is taxable. At what time you will tax? That condition is this. Hope you got the point. Next, time of supply of services in case of the reverse charge mechanism. Somebody asked me about reverse charge yesterday. Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. You are saying when advance is given, when the invoice is not raised, it will not get populated to GSTR 1 because it's based on outward supply is what you are saying. I will explain that shortly. Just as of now, you think whatever the invoice and supply happens tandem together. Later I will explain that. It's a complication because I don't want to disturb the flow. I will take up, please note down the questions. We'll have a question answer session today. Very compulsory because tomorrow mostly it will be like niche areas which I will be covering. So the basic learning should get over today. So we should not have any doubts in the basic learning. So we will have question answer session at the end of the 6th hour. I'm planning to do, 6th hour means the third, 3 o'clock. I want to open the 3 or 3:30, I want to open up the floor for the questions. And then we'll take up the questions for 1 hour and then we'll, tomorrow we will see tomorrow will be a niche area. Like all the transitional provisions. In case of transition, how it happens and all those things, I will try to cover today itself, but tomorrow we'll more stress on it. The stock and all, yesterday people asked me, we have a stock, that credit what will happen, whether it will lapse or not and all those things, alright. So earliest of the time of supply of services, in case of the reverse charge of supply of services, supply of goods, charge on service, sorry, I mentioned as goods, it is services. Date of payment or 60 days from the date of issue of invoice by supplier. Invoice by supplier. Unable to determine both the date of entry in the books of account. What is the value? How do you determine the value of the supply of the goods or services? The invoice value will always be the value. Do you think? Whatever you charge in the invoice will be the value always? No. The value of the taxable supply of goods and services shall be the transaction value. It refers to the price actually paid or payable for supply of goods or services. It is actually refers to price actually paid or payable for supply of goods or services. Added to transaction value. Added to transaction value, commission, packaging, insurance, any other tax from the other than GST. How can you might ask me, sir, one nation, one market, one tax. No tax at all. What is other tax? Remember our discussion. The subsumed, not the subsumed. Okay. Any other tax other than GST, interest or late fee or penalty for delayed payment of consideration for any supply, the interest portion. Subsidies directly linked to the price excluding subsidies provided by the central and state government. Deduction from transaction value. Discount mentioned in the invoice. Post-supply discount known before supply and can be linked to invoice. And these are the value of the goods and services. These are the value of the goods and services. Hope you got the point. How do you determine? So there is a price paid or payable for supply of goods or services plus your transaction value. And deducted from the transaction value, certain components are deducted. What is that? Discount mentioned in the invoice, post-supply discount known before supply, and can be linked to invoice. All right. Let's move on to the next important area. Until now, should I summarize? Yes? Okay. Which one? Subsidies directly linked to the price excluding subsidies provided by central and state government. Subsidies means, for example, discounts you provide. So here we call it subsidies other than your government provides. For example, government provides a subsidy for you linked to your price. See, hereafter government cannot reduce the tax rate. Government can come back and give cash incentives for promoting a product. Okay, I will have to explain this. It's a good point. Hereafter, if Gujarat government wants to provide the incentive for the business people, the exemption route or the reduction of the tax route may not be applicable. Yes or no? Doesn't seem to be applicable in GST. Yes or no? Until now my discussion. Yes or no? That means if Gujarat government wants to give promote the particular industry, what is the alternative plan they have? You tell me, no? Subsidy, then grant. Okay, then. So remember that tax is not the only incentive for the business people. Yes or no? Second, tax is the inefficient mechanism to provide incentive. So much of compliance when they provide 10 AB, 10 double B, which you read for your CA final. And when we qualified, the 10 AB came with lot of condition. Okay, whenever the government provides a simple tax incentive, you have to go through a complex tax structure, yes or no? And litigation is bound to happen. Department will say, you are taken extra, expense is more, it has to be fair valued, yes or no? So there are a lot of litigations going on this. So it is better to avoid tax incentive in the form of rate, which is anyway not possible in GST, but the government can provide what? Subsidy to the particular industry. They will say solar panel if you produce, the government of Gujarat will provide 10% of the cashback on whatever is manufactured. Yes or no? Is it not a good idea? Than breaking your head on the tax where they come back and say solar panel you will be produced with 100 employees. I'm saying if 100 employees for 90 days plus 1 hour per day, 8 hours factory, then you will get the incentive of reduced tax rate. Is this complex, or the Gujarat government will check and give the cash incentive? That is easy. Which is easy? The second option is easy for the Gujarat government, right? The cash portion incentives, if at all if you receive something, that has to be apportioned to the price that can be reduced. That's what it means. Hope you got the point. Now GST rates. Now very important, before we move, let me try to summarize what we have discussed until now. If I leave something, please indicate to me so that the GST becomes a way of life. From onwards, we are going to enter bit of extra modules, and it's definitely interesting, very interesting. Okay. Now, first, goods and service tax means one nation, one market, one tax. The constitution got amended, and the 101 Amendment Act came in. Then the power between the center and the state got shared. Certain taxes subsumed under the CGST, and certain taxes subsumed under the SGST, and you got the IGST, and then that is integrated GST. For the union territories other than your Delhi and Pondicherry, we have UTGST enacted by the Parliament, which is a newborn baby as per the Article 246A of the Constitution of India. Now what we have in India today is one nation, one market, one nature of tax. Under that you have 4 different types of taxes: CGST, SGST, IGST, CGST, SGST, IGST and UTGST. Apart from this, we have a compensation law. Why compensation law is required? Because let's assume you are a manufacturer from Gujarat. When you manufacture in Gujarat, and because of that of sale to another state, as GST is a consumption-based tax, destination-based tax based on the supply concept. The place of supply is the place where the taxable event happens. Because of that, the manufacturing state will lose, and accordingly, the compensation law was been brought in where they have said, look, compensation will be given for the next 5 years. Then, while they formulated this, initially they thought of bringing the single rate, but later they revised the single rate and they wanted to bring the multiple rate for a simple reason. India is a country with an income inequality. If I'm going to tax the baby powder and the BMW at the same rate, it is regressive. Same is the case of the services. If the service tax is applicable on the whole lot of services, it is again regressive. The government of India thought it is not the right time. The government of India did not think it is not a right concept. The government of India thought it is not the right time to bring the single rate GST. There are 2 reasons. One, whichever government brought the GST in other country lost the election. But this government will not lose the election, because other countries bought a flat rate of tax. This country bought the different version of GST. So the story of India will be different. Okay, and it's a federal structure. Okay, somebody said, I went to some of the countries where they implemented recently have been there. Somebody said, this government will they lose the next because they got the GST. Take it from me, they will not lose. For that, opposition has to be very strong. To lose any GST, yes, maybe may not be, but you need to also understand the sentiments around it. If somebody is only strong, you need to say, I'm not discounting the fact that GST is going to be so increasing the prices. No, it might or may not. That's a different issue. Inflation will be under control because the rates are rationalized. It's not regressive, right? So on the services also, to add to that, I was fearing today the revenue component was actually is contributed by services. The government has made a right thought process where the services is also now brought under the different category. Because of this, the inflation will be under complete control. Alright, when the inflation is not under control, they'll convince the council, GST council, and slowly the central government is only capturing all the state government. Later point of time, everything will be under the control of majority of the states. It's very simple, majority and few people if you handhold. And you know what? There is a dependency system today in the central state government. Most important thing many people forgotten is Niti Aayog. Earlier, the Niti Aayog was operating independent of the Prime Minister's office. Today, the Niti Aayog is National Institution for Transforming India, is headed by the Prime Minister. Where the Chief Minister of the respective states sit together, ask for the funds from the centrally sponsored scheme and take the fund. I hope you got the point. So, there is a kind of a cooperative federalism that is happening right now, which is a new culture from 2014. Same is the case of your GST council, where we have to work for the rates, and government has come out with the different rates. Now, what is the concept of the GST? Let's move on to the concept of the GST. The concept of the GST, I'm not discussing the economic point of view. It's not, the summary phase, it's not required. I'm discounting the economic point of view. I'm going to the concept point of view. In case of the GST, what is the concept? In case of the GST, the concept is supply. Don't think sale is not equal to supply. Sale is equal to supply, but supply is not equal to sale. And your barter is covered, your transfer of the branch transfers are covered, your exchange is covered, your disposal is covered, lease is covered for a consideration or furtherance of the business. Whether you got the consideration or not. If you are using that, if you are supplying for the furtherance of the business, then it is also covered under the GST. The taxable event comes. What are the two primary conditions for the GST applicability? One is the location of the supplier, then is the place of supply. If the location of the supplier and the place of supply is in the same state, then it is within the intrastate, within the state. When it is within the state, what will apply? First family will apply, that is your CGST and SGST. Now, the location of the supplier is in one state and the place of supply is in another state. What will apply is your IGST, Integrated Goods and Service Tax. Now, the third thing is the UTGST. In the places where the UTGST is applicable, not that the CGST is not applicable, CGST plus UTGST. CGST will be collected by the central government. UGST, in case of the union territories, which is actually monitored by the central government, where the government, that is legislative, the assemblies are not there, in that place, the central government will collect. This is the structure of the basic structure of the taxing event. Now, next phase what we discussed was the return filing process. Today, the return filing process is not going to be on the physical form. Today, the return filing process is going to be on the online platform. I told there are two beauties in India. One is Taj Mahal, another is GSTN network, which nobody will forget. Now, this GSTN network is the beauty of India. And under the GSTN network, all the business people will be connected. Whoever is coming under the tax net. And under the beauty, there is sub-beauties. That's called GSTN 1, GSTN 2, GSTN 3. GSTN 1, it captures the outward supply. GSTN 2 captures the inward supply. Only when the inward supply and outward supply of this party, that is the supplier, the outward supply of the supplier matches with the inward supply of the customer or the manufacturer, the returns can be filed in GSTN 3. And every supplier will also be having inward supply. It's a mechanism where inward and outward clash, and if there is a difference, that will be reconciled automatically, or you have to reconcile it and update or delete record in pop-up GST R1A. And then the GSTR 3 is filed. And while filing, the important thing that you need to think is, I already told you, India is a big country, and uploading is not scanning, it is invoice-wise detail. This data has to be captured. This data to capture, government felt, let's provide licenses to, in my own style, GST Suveda providers. This GST Suveda providers applied for the licenses, which I forgot to tell you. This GST Suveda providers, anybody can apply for license? No. Can a chartered accountant can apply for a license? No. An IT company with a turnover of 5 crores, which is existing for a certain number of period of years, which I forgot, that year, those many years, if they have to go for a bidding process in the website of GSTN. And after they get the bidding done, the GSP will be given. What is the role of the GSP? Role of the GSP is like a bridge. Between what? Bridge of your GSTN to the filings. Whether, okay sir, I am not ready to go for the GSP, can I use the GSTN directly? Nobody can stop you, you can. But only when your business is small. In case of the business where 10,000 invoices or 20,000 invoices are generated per day, it is very difficult to upload that directly into the GSTN. Government also feels it will burden the system. And now, second thing, the GSP will be, through GSP you will file everything. I showed you that format, how it goes. Now next phase of discussion what we had was the penalty phase. The penalties are quite high right now, and I think we need to have a strict adherence. And I also told you, if the GST is going to come and it's going to reduce the price, for example, the GST is going to come, because of the GST rates coming in, because of that industry is going to gain because of the GST, because of optimum utilization of their the value chain, that gain has to be passed on to the customer. If it's not passed on, the government will bang your head with your anti-profiteering rules. And anti-profiteering rules, the authority is DGS who is going to look at it. And this anti-profiteering rules, it's a strict compliance. That is where the channel partners has to be trained about the GST. The most important thing, the suppliers, they have to analyze the GST and then come out with their pricing structure. That pricing structure will squarely determine your pricing structure, which will be the price that you charge from the customer with your margin. Then finally, we discussed about the place of supply. Place of supply in case of the goods is the place of supply determined about three divisions. One is build to ship. Two is a normal vanilla supply of goods. Three, when I say vanilla, simple supply of goods. And three, on board the conveyance. Is there anything else? X factory. There are four categories. In all these cases, the place of supply is according to the contract. Where do you find these clauses? In a general term, the place of supply and location of supply we discuss. All these terms will be in the contract. That is the reason you have to review your contract one more time. You have to check whether do you need to have the contract like that. Is it possible to rationalize the contracts? You have to take an urgent call. Then finally, you have your services. Services to registered person, services to unregistered person. If it's a registered person, then the place of supply. If it's unregistered person, the place of supplier. I told you an example of, even for the goods, I told you an example of the retail showrooms where people come and buy. You don't know them who is buying it. You still raise the invoice, and the place of supplier, location of supply is the location of the supplier, and the place of supply will be the same state. And accordingly, what will apply in the invoice? CGST and SGST will apply. Then we discussed about the valuation of supply and services. So in case of the reverse charge mechanism, what did we discuss? Not to complicate too much, just tell me, what did we discuss in case of reverse charge mechanism? In case of reverse charge mechanism, the person who is supposed to pay is the supplier, yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Accordingly, the reverse charge mechanism also is applicable. We'll have a detailed conversation about reverse charge later point of time, but basically these are the fundamentals. I hope you got the summary. So if somebody is going to ask this 1 hour meeting, you should be able to brief like this, stage by stage. You leave the economic part, nobody is interested. Everybody should be interested, but nobody is interested. Businessman will straight ask you, what is the impact for me? You start with GSTR1, you will be afraid. Then you will hear out. Or even for the industry, who are seeking the answers from the chartered accountant, your chartered accountant should, you out to find out is an expert in GST or not. If he comes and speaks about paying taxes to the government, the valuation part which comes later, I think that's not the immediate requirement. If you are a good consultant, right now when you meet a client, what you will talk about? You will talk about GSTR1, GSTR2, GSTR3. Because that will come from July onwards. It's going to say it's an urgent necessity. Will he talk about the litigations happening in GST to the client? So the economic aspects are not important for him. He wants to know what will appear in the invoice, what rate is applicable to him, 3, how to file the return. These are the 3 services. And the impact for him, because anti-profiting rules are there, yes or no? So these are the things. Now we discussed about tax rate structure. What is the tax rate structure? the government planned a five-rate tax structure. First is your zero rated, 0% essential items including food, merit rate 5% commonly used items, then standard rate 12%, bulk of the goods and services, this includes fast moving consumer goods, standard rate 18%, demerit rate 28%, luxury cars, tobacco and aerated drinks, additional cess, luxury cars, tobacco and aerated drinks. These are all only indicative before I came, that is last week, until last week. May 18th, they convened a meeting of the GST Council, decided the rates of the goods. Immediately the next day they decided the rates of the services also. Who pushed that? It's not the central government, but the state government. Why? Because their revenue, the service also is there, no. They want to have a certainty. And they themselves said, let's convene a meeting on May 19th. So May 18th and May 19th were critical periods of important date, where for 1211 items, the rates have already come. For jewelry, rate has not come. For certain items, rates have not come. But for 1211 items, the rates have already come. I told you about this, the Ashmukh Adukia, he's from Gujarat. He was in Gujarat earlier. Yeah? Okay, he was a secretary here, finance secretary. Yes, he was a finance secretary. Okay, one more humble request. When you're actually in the state, you should know who is actually governing the state. One is the chief minister, yes. That is political and a statesman. Second, we need to know actually who is taking the decision. Why? You know, when who is running the country is the bureaucrat. And all this decision what is being taken, if somebody is going to ask you, your client will ask you, sir, who is deciding all these things? You should not say, Prime Minister Modi ji is deciding. He is only set the tone, the GST has to come. People have to implement. Yes, he is responsible for bringing the GST, but people under him is responsible for micro aspects. It flows to Ministry of Finance and then flows to the bureaucrats. Now coming back to the Ashmukh Adukia, all the communication with respect to GST, you put Ashmukh Adukia, you will find a lot of articles, a lot of discussion by Ashmukh Adukia ji, who is an IAS officer, who is now the Revenue Secretary. Alright, Ministry of Finance, Government of India has stated that nearly 81% of the items will be classified as 18% GST rate slab and lower, and while the remaining 19% will be taxed at 28%. That means 81% of the items are in what category? What category? No, it is below the 18% category. Below the 18% category. How the spread? First, we'll understand how the spread has happened in the rate perspective. The percentage spread of goods and various sectors, various services across various GST rate. So, if you look at the entire 1211 items, about 43% of the items come under 18% bracket. Then 7% of the item come under exempt bracket. 14% of the items come under 5% bracket. 17% of the items come under the 12% bracket, and 19% of the items come under the 28% bracket. Now, in this 28% bracket, your movie ticket is coming. You're all worried? You're all worried? No? Yesterday I explained about this concept. Okay. I want to understand in Gujarat, what is the movie ticket cost in Gujarat? Generally, for a movie, one show, one person. 200? Okay. How do you book the tickets? You book the tickets online? Book my show. Okay. Or whatever. What do you get is an invoice or a ticket? Okay. So, Gujarat also has fixed the rate for the ticket ceiling used to be there. Or now, you charge anything, but whatever you charge, you pay the tax at 28%. That's the flexibility. For example, you charge 400 rupees ticket. In Tamil Nadu, I told a different example. It's different. 120 rupees the ticket cost they have fixed. But I'm sure in Gujarat it is not the case. They have not fixed the ticket cost. They fixed the ticket ceiling. So you charge 600 rupees, you have to pay tax on 28%. So as the price increases, the rate also, the contribution to the government also increases. Yes or no? So movie is a necessity or a luxury? No, Now, first I want to know that. No, I want to know that. Yeah, he has a different view, yes. It is a necessity for the fun. So fun is a necessity or a luxury? Necessity. So you are interpreting the law to refresh ourselves. Okay, movie is the only thing which is fun? Part of fun, okay. In that fun, some can be luxury, some can be non-luxury. What is non-luxurious? Be with the family, no tax at all. Yes or no? But if you go to movie theater, it is tax. Why I am explaining is this all? Because when we had a debate in one of the channels in discussing about the movie issue, somebody said people come to theater to relax themselves. No, they forget their world. I am not denying that fact. But can you live without a movie? Can you? But there will be some people who will say no. I thought some, but it's surprising to see everybody says yes. Okay, all right. Depends on person to person. Can the law be brought person to person? Sir, I can't be without movie. Reduce my tax rate. I can be without movie. Tax me more. It can't be. So, lesson is the same thing. So, law will not evolve to the citizen. Citizen will evolve to the law. Now, the 28%. If you are ready to pay 500 rupees for the first show, be ready to pay 28% tax also. Yes or no? Even when Kapali movie released, you all saw Kapali? Yeah? Rajinikanth's movie? Okay. Rajinikanth is our brand ambassador for Tamil Nadu right now. Okay? Now, I'm telling you right. Now, that movie gets released, ticket cost went by 1,500, 2,000. Please listen. Please listen. I thought it's student forum, sorry. So please listen. I thought this 1,000 rupees ticket and 2,000 rupees ticket, this portion, do you think that they pay taxes? Do you think that they pay taxes? No, because in the state of Tamil Nadu, when the name is in Tamil, the tax is exempt from 2006 onwards. So the name Kapali is a Tamil name. Now it is a pan-India name. Rajini made it a pan-India name, right? Now this Kapali name, when they use it, the tax is not there. Right? The entertainment tax need not be paid. Now, irrespective of your name, you name it Kabali or name it as James Bond, your tax will get attracted for what? 28%. When the entertainment tax was not applicable, the people did not comply the law. When they were charging 500 rupees without paying taxes, they have been earning 1,000% profit also. How is this industry you look at? Why? Definitely your actor and actress will become rich. Your producers will become rich in a day. Yes or no? Today Bahubali, how much is the crores? I don't know. Yesterday, how much is it clocked? 1,500 crores? Really? 1,700 crores. It's massive. Look at what amount would have spent? 250 crores. You put up a factory for car. So much happened with Tata Nano, right? Yes, to take out 1,500 crores, how many years it will happen? Losses. Here is a straight cut of profit, yes or no? Straight cut of profit, yes or no? Income tax is different. Where is the indirect tax component for this? Just because you name the movie, let's assume it is Tamil Nadu. In Maharashtra also, if it is a Marathi movie, for a Marathi movie, the entertainment tax is exempt. In Uttar Pradesh, I was shocked to see in Uttar Pradesh, the tax rate for the movie is 60%. Uttar Pradesh will gain. Sri Yogi Adityanath ji will gain. Okay. And Sri Yogi Adityanath ji asked an exemption for puja items. The representation. You saw that? Alright. Now what I am saying is, this example why I am saying is, in the movie industry, why I took an example is, here is an industry where people incur few crores, and today they have made 1,500 crores or 1,600 crores or whatever it is. These are the numbers which is projected here and there by the Facebook, yes or no? But what is the exact number, only the producer will know, yes or no? And whatever number he declares with income tax is the number he declares. That's the reason many of the times after the movie release, income tax rates will happen. It's not happening in Gujarat. It's not a practice. Tamil Nadu it happens. Okay. So So why they don't declare that income? Neither the taxes are paid for the entertainment tax. There is a whole lot of practice where the money is not going. But now you are not exempt. You charge 500 rupees, you better pay 28% tax. You pay 1000 rupees, now in 1500 Bahubali film. Government is happy, people are happy, producer is happy. Hereafter, under the GST, he may not. He should be happy because 1500 crore, if it's the invoice number, 1500 into 28%. That amount goes to government. From whom it is collected? From whom it is collected? Customer is ready to pay the 28% extra. 100 rupees ticket, 28 rupees is ready to pay for Bahubali movie. Yes, if the movie is good of this mammoth nature, he is ready to pay. Yes or no? It's good. So that means government is also ready to promote this as an industry. Yes or no? Why the government is not promoting cinema industry as an industry like manufacturing industries, IT industry? Because they are not coming under the tax net. If you come under the tax net, all the incentive like subsidy and cashback may be provided. Yes or no? Can be provided. If they contribute to the kitty, if they contribute to the portion of the government. Why am I explaining? The rates has so much of implication in transforming your business process. Your business process. And in movie industry, sale of ticket is not the only thing. Yes or no? You have the distribution rights. You procure a lot of inputs. Like you engage a art director consulting company. You engage an image consultant. Yes or no? Whatever dress Rajinikanth wears becomes a trend. Yes or no? Whatever he wears will become a trend. It should become a trend. I don't know because response is not that much. Okay, all right. It should become a trend. All right. That art consultant who is there, image consultant who is there, other person who is providing input service while in the production, input can be taken. Yes or no? That is a service. And looking at the classification of the service, the tax what you pay, until now what's happening? People have been paying them in cash. Yes or no? Now that practice will not be there. When they were been paying in cash, there's nothing called credit itself. Yes or no? There's no business process itself. Now that the tax rate for the end consumer is high, there's an immediate requirement to look and make new industries to streamline. Now I'll tell you, in another 5 years, movie industry will get streamlined and it will become an industry. 1500 now cannot be made. If it is made, that's pricing norms will come. Pricing norms. Any movie you release, it cannot be, the ticket cost cannot be more than 200. If they come out with that kind of thing, do you expect Bahubali to make 1500 crore? No. Do you think it's a good idea? It can be a bad idea also because people will not be incentivized to produce a movie. Yes or no? If I produce a useless movie and I produce a best movie, both will get the same profit. Then what will be incentive for the person producing it? That is a different issue. If car can be produced, the cycle can be produced, why can't the movie can be produced in the same direction in the country? But why the movie industry law is exempt? This is the way the system will transform because of the thing called what? GST. Because cash element goes off, everything has to be streamlined. And this is not going to be an exception. I hope you got the point fairly about the transformation happening in the industry. Now, classification of the across the 5 GST tax slabs. So here is what you need to know about some of the main goods and services classified across the 5 tax slabs. First of all, we need to know what is exempted from GST, not zero rated. Exempted from the GST. Poultry products, fresh meat is exempted, fish is exempted, chicken is exempted, eggs are exempted. Are you happy? Where is the vegetable? Yes. Agriculturalist? Okay, agriculture is exempted. Traders of the agriculture products? Agriculturalist is exempted. Traders of the agriculture products? Whether your agriculturalist include the traders of the agriculture product? Agriculturalist is exempted. Traders of the agriculture. You have mandi, right? All these mandi people will come under the GST or not? Yes? Yes, they'll come under. But the agriculturalists who do the agriculture and sell, they will not be brought in. Don't think that people who run mandi don't make money. Don't think that way. They will be potato sellers. They will have BMW. Because potato sells more than the car in the country. Yes or no? And the sale and the commission is more there. They buy from a agriculturalist, let's assume for 20 rupees they'll sell and they will hold it for some time. I'll tell you what. In an agricultural industry, how it operates is, there is an agriculture industry. You go and buy a product, you buy a vegetable. This vegetable is not sold immediately. You have these cold storages. They store there and later they release it. They'll create an artificial demand or create a perception of demand and fix the price and then release the product. And the fixation of price is a cartel mechanism. Cartels are illegal, yes or no? Associations are purposeful. Associations are useful, but this association is used for cartel purpose. Okay, this product comes out and the traders sell. What is the price at which they got it? 20. But what is the price they are selling at? Almost 80 rupees. This never goes to the pocket of the agriculturalist. If this goes to the pocket of the agriculturalist, agriculture is the richest community. Yes or no? Because everybody eats food. When everybody eats food, that portion of money what goes should have been uplifting them. Yes or no? But why the agriculture is not doing well is because of this portion called hoarding. Now whether GST will solve this problem, I am not guaranteeing GST will solve this problem. I am only guaranteeing that traders at least will come under the tax bracket. Hope you got the point. So when they come, the money will be collected by the government and they can allot more fund for the agriculturalist. Hope you got the point. The larger vision. But however, the traders will not be exempted. If they cross the 20 lakh rupees, they have to get registered. They have to get registered. Alright. Dairy products. Milk, curd, buttermilk, jaggery, lassi, unpacked paneer. Gujarat gains. Amul. Where is Amul? Is located in Ahmedabad, right? Anand is a place. Yeah, correct. Okay, somebody met me from in the morning in that place. Yeah. Okay, now Amul is a cooperative society. This Amul, whether GST is first of all applicable? Yes, GST is applicable to all persons except agriculturalists. And accordingly, Amul will get attracted. But Amul's products are exempt. What are the products of Amul? Milk. Do they produce milk? And then curd, buttermilk, jaggery. No, leave it. Lassi. Yes, unpacked paneer. Yes, recent time. Packed paneer. Unpacked paneer, no. Right? Nowhere you will get unpacked paneer. I am doubtful. Is there people who sell unpacked paneer? Shops. Now how do they make the paneer? They will be there in the, and then put the paneer and give you, or how is it? You carry a box. They put in the, that is packed, no? Okay, listen please. Did I touch, no, listen. Did I touch something very sensitive? No, please understand. I just asked about paneer. Why is it so much of discussion? I don't know. Alright, yeah. So now, the paneer, let's assume Amul packs and sells paneer in a proper branded manner. Then the packed paneer will attract GST. But unpacked paneer doesn't get attracted. Why is so much importance given for unpacked paneer? That's all. Don't think too much. What would have happened? Why this state finance minister, did he go and speak? He likes paneer. First he was selling paneer and then only became minister. Not because of that and all. Don't think too much. It is just the rates have come where they've rationalized the things. And I can also tell you to an extent where the rates they have got also may not be appropriate. Later they might revise. How can they revise? GST Council, 2/3 of the vote of the state government and 1/3 of the vote of the central government, 3/4 through the total vote, and they can pass it and then revise the rate. Then fresh fruits and vegetables. Now, fresh fruits and vegetables, there is a point. Trader, when they sell, for example in a mandi, there are people who package and sell it, yes or no? What are they referring to? The fresh fruits and vegetables sold by the traders to the ultimate consumer or traders to the next value chain. What are they saying? Is the product itself is exempt? GST with respect to, I think I have to revise my point. I told the traders will be covered from the vegetable fruits. I don't think they will be covered, sorry. I wrongly told, no, traders of the vegetables and fruits will not be covered because their product is not covered. Product is not covered. See, when the fruits and vegetables, when you sell, Only when the rate of tax is up, it's exempt. They might have to register. Their product is exempt. Hope you got the point. The traders have to register, but their product is exempt. Let's assume there's an exclusive seller of potato or any other vegetable. That exclusive seller, the product is exempt. There's no need for compliance. But however, he has to register and keep it. And mostly today, most of the vegetable vendors don't do just vegetable business. They do many other business also along with that. So aggregate of the business will apply. Yes or no? Nobody, I don't think a vegetable vendor just does a vegetable business nowadays. It does other backward integration also. Other business. Anyway, if he's sole vegetable vendor, then he is exempted from the GST. Food items like natural honey, flour, atta, maida, pulses, basmati rice. Basmati rice is a luxury or necessity? Once again, did I touch something sensitive again? I'm asking basmati rice, is it a luxury or a necessity? How many of them say it is luxury? How many of them say it is a staple food for me daily? Very simple. You can find out the people who have a lot of money. If every day they eat basmati rice, that means it's a luxury only. But however, they have exempted. However, South is luxury basmati rice. For it's a daily food here. Who is it? Do you have daily basmati rice? No. No, they eat a staple food rice. They don't eat this basmati rice every day. I don't think nobody eats basmati rice. It's not recommended for the health also. Anyway, whatever it is, it is inside the exemption category. It is inside the exemption category. Then you have your gram flour, besan, bread, vegetable oil, religious sweets, prasad. So Tirupati Balaji, laddu is exempt from GST. Venkana will be very happy. Balaji will be very happy. Yes or no? Yes or no? And people who go and get also will be happy. All right. So common salt. Remember, we got independence because of what? Salt. If they touch the salt, then whether GST is coming or not, people would have made a big hue and cry. Yes or no? They'll say, today the Indian government is moving like a British Raj. I myself will teaching. What? I myself teaching, if common salt would have come under 5%, let's assume, what would have happened? Our independence movement itself started with the salt. That too from Gujarat. Yes or no? Dandi March, right? Okay. Next, stationery. Stamps, judicial papers, printed books and newspapers. Printed books and newspapers. Notebooks. Printed books means printed content books, right? Notebooks are not exempt. Used by the student. Now, okay, understood we are using so many notes, I can understand. So, yeah. Alright, so notebooks are not exempt from GST. Handloom products. So who gains out of this? Handloom products. Gujarat again. You have a lot of handlooms here. Then contraceptives. Yeah, it's also. Then services. Certain services are exempt. Hotel services priced at less than 1,000 rupees. Hotels which is priced less than 1,000 will need not pay any GST. This exempted category. Education exemption continued from before. Education. Healthcare exemption continued from before. Now, what are the products coming under the? I will run through the product. I will not say these are the product. I will run through the product. At least some products will go into your mind. Okay. Now under the GST 5% bracket, what are the products? Dairy products. There we have mentioned specifically under the dairy like milk and then buttermilk and all. Yes or no? Here, milk is exempt. Skimmed milk powder is not exempt. Skimmed milk powder and milk food for babies. What a tragedy. Okay. Then condensed milk is also not. Raw milk is exempt. Condensed milk is not exempt. Now, Amul sells what? Condensed milk. If they procure a raw milk, please look at the value chain. They procure a raw milk and sell the condensed milk. The raw milk is exempt from GST, but the condensed milk is taxed. Then packaged paneer, okay, cream. ice cream, cream, okay, whatever, is taxed. Okay, all right. Second, frozen vegetables. Now, here comes the point. I'm a trader. The frozen guys are got now. Now you have a frozen vegetables. The trader procures and keeps it and then sells later. If he does that, if business model is, I procure from village and sell it immediately, I am exempted. But if I am procuring the vegetables and selling as a frozen vegetable, then that is taxable. Second, food items. Sugar, taxable. Spices, taxable. Edible oil, taxable at 5%. Pizza bread, taxable. Rusk, taxable. Sweets, taxable. Fish fillets, taxable. Tapiyakana, that is sabudana, is taxable. Your beverages, coffee, tea, juices are taxable at 5%. Fuel, kerosene, I told you, it is not under what? Exempted category. It is neither under outside the GST, it is within the GST, but under the 5% category. Hope you got the point. Common utilities, broom, very important. Yes, broom. And medical goods, that is medicines and stents, newsprint, lifeboats, these are all coming under the 5% category. Services, railway travel, Suresh Prabhuji, yes or no? That portion is under the 5%. Economy class air travel is under 5%. Cab aggregators, Uber, Ola, all those aggregators come under the 5%. Now, hope you are able to get some idea. So if I don't run through, you will not go through. I am telling you. If I don't run through like this patiently, why should you go through? Until the client asks you, go and check the tariff, you'll be bored. By the time you'll call another friend. Yes or no? So, all right. Now, let's move on. GST at 12%. Goods, dairy products, butter, cheese, ghee, covered. So, ghee is covered. All right. Packaged dry fruits. Packaged dry fruits is covered. Dry fruits is assorted. Where does it come? Assorted dry fruits, where does it come? Packaged dry fruits comes under 12%. Assorted, exempted, or it will come under some other thing. We have to look at the tariff. Don't ask me, sir, do you know everything? Don't think I also know everything. I try to put summary. Nobody can know everything now. 320 pages. And 19 they have released. Do you have any happiness to read that? Whatever the summary I tried to provide here. So we have to look at the tariff. That's what we should know, how to look at the tariff. What about the other variety? I'll tell you. Okay, first we'll run through the, because this question comes for me the first time. I myself thinking, let's see whether it is not there, I will tell you later. If it is not there, I will tell you. It is presently not given. Okay, all right. Then beverages. Beverages like fruit juice, food items. Food items. Nagpur, Haldirams, right? Snacks, namkeen and bhujia. Yeah, and then packaged chicken and sausages. Beverages, fruit juices, packed coconut water. In the Indigo flight, they used to give a packed coconut water, right? That packed coconut water comes under the GST. Coconut water. Coconut is a vegetable or a fruit? Fruit? Are you sure? Coconut is a fruit or a vegetable? You never thought about it? It's a vegetable. Tender coconut is a vegetable. It's not a fruit. Is it a fruit? Just because it is sold in the fruit shop, it's a vegetable according to me. It's not a fruit. When did the coconut become a fruit? It's a vegetable, right? Am I wrong or am I right? Don't know. We have to check already. All right. Like next. Personal hygiene. Which one? No. Fruit juice. Where is it? Beverages, coffee, tea, juices. Oh, once again, here also juice is covered. Fruit juices, there it is just juice. Is there a difference? Is there a difference? Juices and fruit juices, is there a difference? Tell me, no, how is it different? discussions. How is it different? Flavor juice, is it a fruit juice? No, that means it will come here. So they are promoting. His question is, sir, why are they promoting? Please listen. His question is right. Please listen. He is asking, sir, fruit juices are coming under 12% packet, and the flavored juices are coming under the 5% bracket. Is it not disincentivizing the fruit juices? That's the question. Discouraging. Yes or no? Yes? Do you feel that way? So to try to become the finance minister of Gujarat, then go to GST council, let's have a debate in the GST council, and then let's, the point is, see that there is a thought process that has gone in. The thought process is not foolproof. 1211 items, they have just declared. Now, later they will relook at it. What is the first difference you are asking? Yeah, there is a difference. No, the fresh fruit juices. So what they talk about in 12% category is fresh fruit juices. So you want the word fresh fruit juices to be added? No, I'm just asking. This is a fruit juice, typically means fruit. There it is flavored. These litigations will come later. So this is where you have to help the client in understanding it. So if we cannot discuss all the items, go to the tariff, go to the particular tariff, identify the product, and tell the clients to tell the clients who are in this business to actually pay the taxes. All right, let's move on. Packed coconut water is attracting. Personal hygiene, tooth powder, toothpaste, whatever, comes under the 12% bracket. Tooth powder, toothpaste also comes, I missed out. So personal hygiene comes under 12% bracket. Stationery, coloring books, picture books, that comes under the 12% category. Common utilities like sieving machine, umbrella comes under the 12% bracket. Ayurvedic medicine, who will be sad? Today Ayurvedic medicine, Ayurveda means who comes in your mind? Patanjali, yes or no? Yes? There was a joke in some of the forums. Hindustan Unilever spends, many of the FMCG companies spend so much of expenses on marketing. Here is a company whose marketing spend is very less. And you know what? The big companies, FMCG companies, engage so many celebrities to promote a product. Here is a man who just shows Patanjali Chyawanprash, okay, whatever the product, tooth powder or whatever it is, immediately sales increases, it seems, in numbers. So, Patanjali is a lesson for the entire world, and now they are exporting organic genes to Middle East. Organic genes. So, alright, so Ayurvedic medicines are coming under the 12% category. Incense sticks, agarbatti, is coming under 12%. Maybe Sri Yogi Adityanath's point, Honorable CM of UP, what point he made is right. More consumption of agarbattis happen in Varanasi. Yes or no? More consumption of agarbattis happen in Varanasi, for information. And his point was valid. More consumption. I really should be happy. Yes or no? But he's speaking from the industry point of view. He says the rate is high. Maybe. And he generally told puja items. He did not mention agarbatti. But I'm saying, who will be the highest beneficiary in case of agarbatti? It is the UP. Yes or no? UP government. Yes or no? Alright. Mobile phones. Services. Sorry, I think it is a mistake. Services is next thing. I try to take it from the next slide. Non-AC hotels and restaurants. Non-AC hotel and restaurants will be taxed at 12%. Then business class air travel will be taxed at 12%. Works contracts will be taxed at 12%. Now what comes under the, ice cream is a separate category. That is cream. This is ice cream. What is the difference between cream and ice cream? Okay, got it. So you develop milk creams, I think it is exempt. The ice cream is coming under the end product, that is ice cream is at 18%. Preserved vegetables. Now, not only the frozen vegetables, please listen. The preserved vegetables are also coming under the 18%. Food items like your flavored refined sugar, pasta, cornflakes, pastries, cakes, jams, sauces, soups, instant food mixes, processed foods, edible oil. Now the entire family runs because of this only, no? Nowadays who cooks at home? Everything instant, pasta, cornflakes, all this only we eat. That comes under 18%. Beverages, mineral water comes under 18%. Alright. Then personal hygiene, tissues, toilet papers, hair oil, soap bars, toothpaste comes under the 18%. Under stationery, notebooks, envelopes, fountain pens. As if many people are using fountain pen. Nobody uses fountain pen, yes or no? It comes under 18%. Electronic equipment, printed circuits, speakers, monitors come under 18%. Camera comes under 18%. Iron and steel products come under 18%. Services, AC, hotels and restaurants that serve liquor. Comes under 18%. Do we have that kind of AC? Liquor is completely banned or it is allowed in bar in Gujarat? 5-star hotels? Now allowed. Please listen, yeah? Oh, is it? Now outsiders, no, what I'm asking, you're as a 5-star hotel, you run a liquor shop within the 5-star. Liquor shop means bar. Is it allowed first of all? Oh, they have to pay for the license, alright. Okay, AC hotels and restaurants, that means for Gujarat it will not be applicable, only for the 5-star hotel, higher end. Then telecom services, IT services and finance services. Very important, this category is very important. First, food items, chocolates. So chocolates, chewing gum, custard powder, maybe romancing is becoming costlier. The first thing anybody gets is a chocolate, that becomes a costlier. Listen, beverages, aerated water comes under 28% bracket. Personal hygiene, deodorants, shaving cream, aftershave cream, hair shampoo, dye, sunscreen, perfume, face creams, detergents. I think women in the country will be angry on Modi ji. Actually, this is bought under 28%. But anyway, white goods like vacuum cleaners, shavers, air clippers, washing machines, dishwashers, water heaters, other home appliances, everything comes under the white goods. It is taxed at 28%. Automobile and motor vehicles, I have put a star there, I'll explain you shortly. Housing materials like paint, wallpaper, ceramic tiles and cement is getting costlier, but construction becomes costly. Then washing machines, vending machines, ATM, fireworks, luxury demerit goods, pan masala, tobacco, aerated water, drinks and motor vehicles are covered. Under 28% bracket, services, that is rooms and restaurants in 5-star hotels are covered. So 5-star hotel only will be covered mostly here. No, that is, see, if you look at one interpretation is with respect to hotel industry, listen, AC hotels and restaurants that serve liquor comes under 18%. If they don't, they come under 12%. So majority of the hotels in Gujarat will come under what? 12. The niche will come under the 28% bracket. Then race course betting and cinema, which is coming under the 28% bracket. Now, just take a view. This is very important. This concept, and then we'll move on for the lunch. In addition to the rates which have been fixed for major categories of goods and services, the GST Council has approved the compensation rates for 5 luxury demerit items. The proceeds of this cess will go into the compensation fund, which would be used to bridge any tax revenue gap for the states in the first 5 years of GST. Hope you got it? Now luxury goods, the demerit goods, whatever that over and above your GST rate, highest rate of 28%, the cess will be levied. That's called compensation cess. The items that will be levied with these compensation cess over and above the GST rates which are applicable on them are coal. The GST rate applicable is 5%. Approved cess range for that is INR 400 per ton extra will be added for the coal. The cess ceiling outer limit is 400 per ton. To pan masala comes under the 28% bracket. Look at the approved cess. How much? 60. How much is total tax? Total burden on the pan masala? 28% plus 60. How much is the tax rate? 88%. If you consume pan masala, 100 rupees pan masala, you have to pay 88 to the government. Got it? So, cess ceiling, you can go up to what? Up to what? 135, yes or no? Alright. Tobacco, GST rate applicable is 28. How much the cess, approved cess range? It's about 204% upward. And how much the ceiling in the amount? So, if it is less than, if you put 204%, the outer limit is 4,270. Within that, whatever comes, you can add. Hope you got it. It's all calculation. See, I'll tell you what. See, if you are in this category, just understand the number because it's not going to play significant role until you meet a client of this sort. Right? Tobacco, normally the 28% tax category it comes. Government says, I will impose extra tax. That's called compensation cess. The approved cess is, let's assume 60%. On 100 rupees, 60 will be going to the cess and 28 will go to the GST. Now the government says, not only if I want, I will put up to 204%, provided the amount is less than 4,170 in absolute numbers. So at any point of time, your tobacco cannot attract more than 4,170 in absolute terms as a tax number. Cess number, basically, sorry, cess number per thousand. Then aerated drinks, 28%, approved cess range is 12%. So, cess ceiling is 15%. For example, if you consume Coca-Cola or Pepsi, 28% plus 12%, it comes to how much? 40%, right? Alright, then motor vehicles, 28%, then approved cess is 1 to 15%, cess ceiling is 15%. Luxury and demerit goods as listed above will also attract a common cess over and above the GST rate of 28%. The cess will be 15% for cars with over 1500cc engine capacity. Other sports and luxury cars, the cess will be 1% for small cars. Alright, why is there so many confusions? India, one nation, one market, one tax, one single tax, 18%. It would have been easy whether good or services. That's where it's only a vision where we are moving towards that vision. Alright, for these items, the rates are yet to be decided. On June 3rd, it is expected that the rate will come back, will come in the country. For the following goods, the GST rates are yet to be decided. Biri paper leaves, that is tendu patta and biris, biscuits, textiles, footwear, jewelry items, natural or colored pearls, precious or semi-precious stones, precious metals, metals clad with precious metal, imitation jewelry and coins, power-driven machines, machinery for industrial and agricultural uses. These are all yet to be announced, which will be announced on next GST Council meeting. So now that you have understood the rate percentage, let's go for the lunch and come back. At what time we can join in? What time? So 1:45. He says it's 1:45. Yeah? Thank you.